Hello my fellow veterans and welcome to the Veterans Advice Hub. My name is Bill Kelly and today I'd like to talk to you about the value of a statement supporting your VA disability claim and how important that is to craft that statement correctly. Really what you want to do is talk about the connection between what happened to you and the issues that you're dealing with now. You're trying to get the VA rater to actually see that connection. The reason why I'm revisiting this topic, even though I've already covered it in the series of videos about submitting a VA claim, is I just recently spent some time with an OIF veteran who clearly has the issues that he claimed. He's got PTSD issues, social anxiety issues. He's got scars on his face and head that clearly something bad happened to him while he was over there. He tells us stories of several different instances where the vehicle he was in was struck by an IED, and he was lucky enough to survive, but he's got issues that he's dealing with, yet his what would seem a very clear-cut VA disability claim was denied for two reasons. One, he didn't have a very good narrative in his statement, which we'll talk about in a second, and two, he didn't do very well at the CompPen exam, the compensation and pension exam, which the VA does as part of the claims approval process, which we'll also talk about. So the statement. The statement needs to be very kind of clear-cut, matter of fact, just the facts. I was in country at this time, this place, this incident happened to me. I was injured in a particular way, and now years later, I'm out, I'm a veteran, and I've got the same kind of problem, and here's my doctor that now says, whether it's a VA doctor or a civilian doctor, your primary care physician looks at you and says, yes, you have osteoarthritis in your knees. You've got, whatever the issue is, you have it now, right? You're feeling debilitated in some way, you're impacted in some way, so what you're doing is making the connection for them. The VA, are not going to dig through your medical record to find every instance where this was an issue or through your service record. They'll look, but they're not going to dig through it the same way with the same passion that you would. Not because they're bad people, just because they have an incredible workload. So make those connections for them. If you can give them a date where something specific happened. I fell out of the truck on this date and I went to medical and my ankle has not been the same. I had a bad jump, I twisted my back, I herniated my disc. Look, that's clearly in my medical record. And oh, by the way, now I have back problems. In this particular veteran's case, he never mentioned the IED experience and the fact that it happened more than once. I mean, lucky guy because he's alive, but he was impacted. And he just didn't put all that together. He just said, hey, I've got PTSD, and here you go, VA, do the best you can with that. And unfortunately, that's not going to help you very well. You have to tell them your narrative. So you connect the dots for them in the statement. This happened, and here's how I'm impacted now. Here are some dates. Here are some statements from my buddies, my wife, my commanding officer, whatever you can get. Here's the commendation that illustrates the incident that I'm talking about. So that had happened is documented in your record. And then the impact of it is what you're connecting. Okay, the CompPen Exam. Just like taking your car to the mechanic, when you're in front of the mechanic, the strange noise it makes stops, right? I mean, it happens all the time. Same thing for a CompPen Exam. The day of the CompPen Exam, you're going to wake up and you're going to feel great for some reason. And you're going to go in there and the guy's going to say, how do you feel? And you're going to say, fine. And then they're going to say, okay, good, no issue here, and kind of move you on. You are allowed to go in and talk about how you feel on your worst day, on your deepest, darkest day, when the hamsters and the demons are spinning in your head, right? That day, you can tell them about that. In fact, this is where you actually open up. This is where you're supposed to tell them about how you feel and the anxiety that you have and the issues that you have. whether it's a physical thing, what's difficult for you? I can't walk up and down stairs anymore. I can't get in and out of the car. I can't deal with large crowds or big places, or I have trouble with authority. So this veteran that I was speaking with had unemployability, which is a particular type of disability rating. He had that denied, but he never mentioned at all anywhere in his discussion with the doctor during the CompPen exam or during anywhere in his statement that he had been fired 4 different times and had an inability to hold a job, right? I mean, those are the things that you have to come forward with. I know it's hard, and I know we like to just, embrace the suck and keep it all in, and fine. But if you want that claim to go through, you got to talk about what your issues are. And an appropriate place to do that is short and sweet on paper, with supporting documentation, with as much information as you can get to say, this happened, now I feel this. Look, they're connected. And during the CompPen exam, when they ask you, are you impacted in your ability to get work? Just because you have a job doesn't mean you aren't impacted. Yes, if part of your job is getting to and from your job, but getting in and out of the car is difficult for you because you got bad hips or bad knees or bad ankles or bad back, you can say that. You need to tell them how you're impacted. Whatever the issues are, whatever the things that are impacting you, you tell them, these are the things that are impacting me. Because if you don't tell them, then they have nothing but whatever they can find in your medical record. And again, they're not going to look as deeply as you. A good strategy is, I think, so you have the claim form that lists the things that you're claiming. Fine. Take each one of those, go through your medical record yourself, make copies of everything that says bad knee, bad back, hangnail, whatever it is, and pull that stuff out and submit that separately as part of your package, so that in your statement you can say, I hurt my back on this date as indicated by my medical record on this date. I had continuing problems with my back as indicated by numerous visits to the corpsman and to the clinic, to the doctor over a period of time. And guess what? I still have that same problem now, right? You're basically spoon feeding the VA to make that connection. So you organize your medical stuff, make your statements short and sweet, get to the point, express if it's an emotional issue or a mental health issue, it's okay to express how you feel. You just have to do it quickly. They don't want a long novel, just a couple of sentences of what you're dealing with. Where they really get to dig into it and hear your human side of the story is at the CompPen exam. That's when you talk about your worst day. Not the day you're having now, not the day you had yesterday, but on your worst day, how do you really feel? That's what you tell them. And I can't guarantee an outcome. You may or may not get your claim approved, but you'll have a much better chance if you make the connection for them by pointing out the facts as they are and expressing to them what you're actually dealing with. There's no value to you in sucking it up and holding it inside like we've all been kind of taught to just, rub dirt on it and carry on. Well, this is like the one case where it's okay to complain. Talk about your issue, be open and honest, and you'll have better luck submitting those claims. Well, I hope you found this video helpful, and please post your questions down below, and thank you for your service.